week, and it takes Holly off and puts you in there. So I am constantly having to recheck Zen Planner, making sure it's not defaulting from one second to another.
This is going to eliminate that, at least with these classes, because these are set up completely different in Zen Planner.
Good.
Whole different.
Yeah. Yeah, these, so the way that we've been doing it, so for Trevor and Holly right now, they're appointments. And that's why. So appointments, anybody can schedule an appointment with Ken, anybody can schedule an appointment with me, with Trevor, based on how Zen Planner is set up. But classes are set up completely different. So these classes, Holly is the only option because I set that setting. So
just so I'm clear.
Holly, and it won't change.
And it won't change, no.
Right.
Once it's set up, it's set up.
See, because my thinking was, Misty, with this was, although I'm not as familiar with Zen Planner as you, I figured you've already done this with the brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
You already have the system in place.
Yeah.
So all we're really adding is the component of the Zoom for that first time. Once they get used to it, we don't have to do that. But for that first autoresponder sequence, you need a Zoom account. This is how we'll get started. But other than that, I think it's really the same. You're going to use the same system that you've been using all along. The difference is they're not showing up for a group session at the physical location. They're showing up online.
Yeah, exactly. And my mom, she wasn't with us long enough to have experienced the active life classes. But Holly, for your reference, these are going to be set up the exact way that active life classes were set up.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's super easy. Like it's a fix it and forget it type program. And that's what I love about the class aspect versus the one-on-ones, because one-on-ones, it's best to use appointments, but that's where you run into the challenge that my mom is discussing, because there's so many options every time she goes to schedule an appointment. She has to make sure she always picks the right person, picks the right date, picks the right time, double checks her work that she didn't miss something, and it's a hassle. Whereas these classes they're recurring. We set the date, and we set the day, like the week or the day of the week and the time, one time. And we tell it it's going to be this time forever. You know, if we're going to continue doing this and we don't plan on it ever ending, it's going to be forever, except for maybe those week or two that we take off between each session if we decide to do that. But ultimately, this mom is going to make your life so much easier as far as this part's concerned. And the more classes we can get, the easier it gets, because it's fix it and forget it.
But what about Misty because obviously we are going to get Holly going with one-on-ones too. So is that going to be confusing for Juju?
No, it's going to be more so just there's a couple ways, and I know that I'm trying not to confuse everybody, but Zen Planner is very user-friendly if you know how it works. It's just getting used to how it works. And so there's a difference. There's classes and there's appointments. How we used to do it with Trevor's schedule, because his schedule was consistent. He had the same client that came in every week, same day, same time, twice a week. And so we just created his one-on-one sessions as a class, and that's how it was for fix it and forget it. But we've had to transition over to appointments. And so it's still pretty new to me. It's still really new to Trevor. And all of this is brand new to my mom. And so that's where it can be overwhelming, because now with appointments, the reason we had to do appointments is because Trevor's schedule, although it's the same, or we're trying, nothing has been the same since December, but like even Holly's schedule, like she just gave me her availability the other day. So I could go in and I could say, okay, she's available during this time. So when my mom goes in to set an appointment, it just shows Holly's availability. Well, the problem is if my mom doesn't select Holly, like put a little dot next to her name, then it shows like everybody's availability, and that's where it's like, it's going to take more practice. It's, if we're going to continue doing that. Now, if we wanted to, we could take Holly back to I could set up classes instead of an appointment schedule for Holly. I could go in and set up classes. The only problem is that I don't know, it's all work regardless how you look at it. But like let's say Holly wants to have a class at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. And that's going to be her same every Tuesday, Thursday, the exact same schedule. I can go create a class that's just open for people to enroll in. But if they do that, I have to think through it makes it a little, there's just a little glitches here and there that'll require a little bit of management on my part. But we can go to that way if we want to just avoid the whole appointment issue where my mom feels like she has to double and triple check herself all over the place.
Oh yeah, because I'll select Holly every time. And then I'll go, okay, now I need to go to the next week. I'll go to the next week and don't realize it took Holly off and put someone else in just by going to the next page. So, and then I'd have to go and I put Holly in again, and I think, okay, got this. But there's going to be some time that I do it and I forgot, oh, I just went to another week and it kicked it off. I got to remember to make sure. And so, yeah, I mean, it's beating a dead horse because you say we're going to get this all figured out. So.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because it's 2 steps. It's when my mom's looking at the calendar, she selects Holly so she can see what's going on with her schedule. Then she goes add an appointment. And if she doesn't select Holly again, then it's automatically defaulting to Ken,
and the old date, it'll go back to another date. So I got to.
Yeah. So, so ultimately we can play with it. I mean, with the system is ours, it's fresh, it's new. We can make it whatever it is. And if you want, we can create classes. So what that means is that the session times will be the start time. So when Holly goes to look at her schedule, it will no longer, if we set it up as a class, it'll show that she has a class every hour that she's available, but it will only be booked if there's one person in that schedule or more. Otherwise it'll show 0 of 1. And so she's going to have to really visualize and be okay, so although it shows that there's a time spot reserved there's nobody in that session. Does that make sense? So
yeah.
So there's ways we can work the system. We can play around with it. Maybe visually I can sit down with you and I can sit down with Holly and we can see what's going to work out best and be more simple, because it is Zen Planner leaves it up to make a lot of mistakes with the way they have their appointment scheduling. It shouldn't even give the option for people to schedule with me or Ken or you, Mom, because I didn't set a schedule in there for you guys. It should only give you the option of Trevor and Holly because I've set schedules for them. But for whatever reason.
One of the reasons, Misty, I just wanted to bring this up now is because we will reach I think it's great to just get the groups going and a few people who fall organically. Organically, Holly will start getting some one-on-ones, but we'll get to a point where when we get to that point where, Holly, you're feeling good enough, you're in a good flow with the groups, you want to transition even more, you're ready to take on more clients, and yeah. I do think there's going to be a decent amount of people that fall into the category of valuing and wanting some one-on-one. There's a lot of people who are really struggling in there and really would benefit from it. So when we do get to that point where it's okay, we're going to you're ready to really make that more of a full transition and take on whatever it's going to be, 10, 15 clients, one-on-ones. We have the option of, like I said, if it's not happening at a rapid pace organically, we can promote it. We can promote those one-on-ones. And then I know the audience is there. So I just wanted to bring that up because when that day comes, I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed in terms of how to do it in Zen Planner. I wouldn't want, that's why I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah. And I can work through it all. I mean, ultimately, I think you're right. We'll get these groups up and running, Mom. And this will be really good training ground for you because again, it's fix it and forget it. But we're going to be managing 4 classes right up so you'll be busy for a few days as we're getting people enrolled into these 4 classes. Once it's done and they've paid and we've enrolled them in a class like that, your job is done for the next 6 weeks with those 24 clients. And, you know, and then it's just managing the other clients that are wanting to get in to see Holly on a one-on-one basis, which we will tackle and take care of. But these groups are going to just streamline everything, and I have a feeling that Ken is right. They're going to take off, and we're going to have a demand for it, and then we can just focus mostly on groups for Holly. And Holly, I have a feeling that, you know, we're going to be able to move you to more virtual than in person, which will, you know, give you that flexibility too. You know, to work from home some days. Hi, Dad. So I think this is all the way around just going to end up being a way to streamline our business and simplify things for everybody involved.
I do think we should talk about the sign-up process.
Okay.
You were talking about Beth Zollips and Mary Smith, what to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking on there, Gigi, is like there's still going to be 1 week a month where I see local clients, and then the rest of the month, if they want to, if Beth or Mary want to see, or Karen or Judy or Sharon Richardson want to see Holly, then they sign up on Holly's schedule based on her availability. So we need to put the availability in for the classes. So we'll put those in where Holly wants them. And then the local clients who want to come in, they will work around Holly's schedule.
Yeah.
So there's going to be an availability thing where Holly has these set times and her other clients will work around those classes.
And can I ask a question, Trevor, just because I know you and I love you?
She always prefaces it with that when there's a Trevor conflict.
Uh-oh.
As great as it sounds that you're going to see clients once a month, the soonest that you have any availability for that based on your current schedule is, what did we say, Mom? Like September or October? Something like October. Yeah. So you don't have
the summit in September, and you've got the baby coming
in August.
So, and Trevor was saying even pushing it further out from there. So.
Yeah. So rather than seeing local clients once a month, I would say making room for Mary and Beth once a month, because they're your two that feel like they have ownership over you and that you do kind of feel indebted to in a way. And and that's okay. So I don't know what you're saying. Sorry, you're breaking up, but I really think that it's not let's leave this open to local clients. If every now and then periodically you're going to see Tori, that would be okay. But I think we cap it at that. I think, you know, Tori, Mary, and Beth are the 3 that periodically you will make room for to see here locally. But we don't guarantee it. And it's not going to be every month because as we see now, you're booked out till October anyways.
Okay. That makes sense.
Out of towners, he's that booked?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, definitely.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You're exciting, Holly.
Well, and that brings up another point, Holly. So we have this girl who, her email to me was desperate for help. Her name is Dari. She's a sweetheart. She's coming out here for 2 weeks here soon. And I have to look at it. I think it's in June, right, Mom? You'll have to look, Dari Politoski or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, she's coming out here, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're actually going to be moving her to you. So you and Trevor are going to work in collaboration.
Okay.
On her. So her first initial diagnostics on a Tuesday. So you may actually want to be a part of it.
Sure.
Since you're going to be seeing her as well.
Oh, yes. I want to be there.
Yeah. And so anytime that, like, if it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday that she's booked to see Trevor, then obviously Trevor will see it. But if there's where there's Tuesday and Thursday sessions she has booked, then we're going to go ahead and move her into your spot, and she's going to be totally fine with it. She's just really needing the extra help.
Okay.
And yeah, so we're going to do that. I'm going to look through his schedule too and see where there's those other people who are out here for like a week at a time. and see if we can't do the same for them.
Yeah.
Hey, Miss, will you, because Holly he has to leave in about 4 minutes because she has
Okay.
a 2:15 to drive to.
Okay.
Will you kind of run through, because Holly's a very like admin type person, like run through the process of, in your mind, how this will work when someone from the minute they sign up to getting registered, like how does that work?
Okay, so how that'll work, like obviously Ken was talking about a landing page, which should have all their information. From there, they should they'll have a couple options. They can call and speak with my mom, and she can get them signed up, and or Zen Planner will create a link for them to go purchase the membership, and it will then take them to the option to pick the class that works out best for them. And once they pick the class, it's literally done. We'll get notification that it's happened, and we'll have to go in and auto enroll them for every week after that. So that's where it'll be on our part. Or my mom, if they call and speak to my mom and sign up, then my mom can go in and she'll populate all their information into Zen Planner, and she will add the membership to their account. She'll charge their credit card, and then she will go in and whatever day of the week works best for them in time, she's going to like enroll them in that class moving forward, and then the job's done.
Okay.
And they'll get an auto responder or an email from us letting them know based on which class they set up. Once they're enrolled in that class, we can set up an auto responder that sends them the information on how to sign up with Zoom, what their meeting ID number is, and all of that kind of stuff, so that they can get set up and be ready to go.
Okay.
Cool.
There'll be
And then,
set
Holly,
times.
what we'll do, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mama. You're on mute.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're not. You're good.
Yeah, she's not.
Okay. So there'll be set times for those level 1s or level 2s
Mm-hmm.
Right.
each week. So they really won't be able to pick a time. It'll be whichever class they're taking.
Exactly. They'll pick because they'll have a morning or an afternoon availability of a level 1, or a morning or afternoon availability of 2. So they can pick first come, first serve, but once they're enrolled in the class, there's no bouncing around. They're in that class, same day of the week, same time every week for 6 weeks.
And then real quick, because I know Holly has to go, Holly, we'll set you up with an email account too. Can we add another email account on the, or not really?
I think we're capped at 5. Yeah, we could just do a Gmail, like a.
I would just do msgymcoaching@gmail.com or something, and then we can give you a separate email, Holly, and then that's where they'll send their questions, so you're not getting bogged down in all of your email crap that you have coming in from Apex and personal and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, we'll create boxes for you because I know you like to keep things organized like that.
Lots going on.
Yeah. So, all right, Holly, we'll go to
Thanks,
your client. Thanks for being here. If you want to
thanks,
listen to the
Holly.
rest, then do it. But we'll send you the recording as well.
Well, let me figure, and then I'll get this camera thing figured out, because I have a hunch Sean got a setting wrong. So it's okay.
No problem. You're all good.
All right, you guys have a wonderful day.
All right, bye.
You too, Holly.
Bye.
Bye.
Seeing you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So I think all this, is this pretty clear? Mama, are you clear on how this works? I know you're like an experienced person, so like as you go through it, you'll learn it, but conceptually, theoretically, does this make sense right now?
Yeah, it does. I know that in my head what I have visualized, eventually some things will change and I'll understand a little bit more, but I don't even have any questions right now.
I think
Go ahead,
Okay,
Ken.
cool.
my one concern with this, and I think we need to add one piece to the enrollment process, is when we announce this, we still don't know the response. It could be, okay, this is different when you had the brick and mortar. We're just going to send an email out, even if we just send it to the members only list, okay? That's still going out to over 750 people, okay? We could get, because I'm not going to, one of the things that we're going to do with this is we're going to market it properly, meaning I was really cautious when we were going to do the 1+2, the diagnostic +2 of position. I didn't want to oversell it because I didn't want 50 people raising their hands. So I was a lot of the positioning was, how do we quietly say this, or, disqualify people? We don't want too many people reaching out. Here, we're going to market it properly. And I'm not going to hold back and say, all right, I'm going to market it in a way that I think exactly 24 people are going to sign up. We're going to market it properly and explain what it is and let the chips fall where they may, meaning if 75 people want this, great. This is something we can handle. So I think the first step needs to be, when we announce it, is if you're interested, here's what to do next. Email. I think it may be better to email me first, okay? Have them email me, telling me, and we tell them what they want. Here's what we need. Your name, which group you think you'd be a better fit for, level 1 or level 2, okay? Because the benefit of this will take some overwhelm away from Gigi. I talk to Trevor every morning anyway. So if some of these people, we're not not totally counting on them to enter where they're at. I can actually, Trev can at least. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, baby.
Say hi.
Hi, Grandma Gigi. Hi, Grandma Gigi.
Okay, let's let Ken talk.
So by the time it gets to Gigi, I think it's easier that I've already run it by Trev. All right, Trev, because Trev's going to know who everybody is. So I'll be like, Trev, here's the first 6 I'm putting into a level 1 at Tuesday at whatever time. Let me know how these 6 sound to you. Are they all a good fit? And Trev can say, yeah, go. Let's get it off to Gigi. Done. Or he might say, you know what, I'm not sure about. So at least we control the process more. I just think it's going to be overwhelming if 50 people, if we get 50 replies and they all come in at one shot to you, Gigi. I think that could be overwhelming. I think it's better to have them reply. I sort through it. We just have to be clear on what we want. Tell it, as in, yes, I want this right away. Yes, I'm ready to do this right away. Their name and what level they think they would be at, and which time they would want. And I sort through all of it. And then this way I'm literally coming to Gigi with, here's the 6. Here's the 6 for the Tuesday, level 1, 11 a.m., whatever it's going to be. Because I've already sorted through it and I've gone back and forth with certain people. And there may even be a waiting list. There may be some people where we have a decision where we say, okay, because I'll see the time that the email comes in at. I'm going to see who wrote first. We may have to put some people on a waiting list. And then we have a decision to make, okay? Do we open up a 5th for Holly right away? Or do we tell these people they have to wait another 6 weeks? It's not going to fit perfectly like all 24 just fall in the way we want. So we're going to have to, I don't know. Is it making sense the way I'm explaining that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's making. Go ahead, Mom.
Isn't there a way to, when they're signing up for a class, where it automatically knows if these classes are filling up, and just say, it'll show them, okay, that class is full, so they'll have to check it out themselves for the next one. When's the next one? And then they can just sign on for that the following week or whatever.
So yeah, there is, and there's a way. So as I go and I build this out in our system in Zen Planner, I will have to set those parameters that if I'm creating a class, only 6 people can enroll in that class. And then so if somebody tries to enroll in it, the nice thing that I do like about Zen Planner is it tracks them.
It caps it right there.
Right, it caps it, and it creates the prospect list for the next sessions, because it will automatically tag them based on what we say, as a whatever we're going to call these classes, person who's interested in that. So although they couldn't enroll in the class right off the bat because we were full, they then end up on a prospect list, which can happen if we have them go through you first before we put them in the system. Like but it's just literally capturing their information. My only concern with going that way is a lot of times people, when they're ready to buy and they have their credit card out or whatever, like they'll make the purchase. What I don't want to get into is yes, I'm interested in this, and then they seem super gung-ho, and then we pass them to mom and she's having to chase them down to get their credit card information, and we've held a slot for them for 24 hours.
No, that's it. We can only hold it for 24 hours.
Yeah, so definitely having those parameters that it's like, all right, this spot is held for you. Gigi's going to get in touch with you or send you the link or whatever we decide we want to do for getting people set up. And do know that it expires in 24 hours and your spot will be taken by the next person in line, kind of thing. And then that way it keeps that urgency in them to watch for the link to come through.
I think in terms of how the classes will go,
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool because Trevor's already interacting with a lot of these people. He's got a good pulse on where they're at, who's done nothing, who's done a little. I think it'd be really could avoid a lot of problems if instead of just giving them full control to sign up and randomly get in a group of 6, that we control a little bit of the process. And yes, I agree. When they're ready to buy, we give them a 24-hour. They lose their spot after 24 hours. But I think it'd be good if Trevor looked at it first and said, you know what, Ken, that's a good 6. That's going to be an awesome group. They're all at the same level. They have the same issues. Just send it off to Gigi now. Like, I don't know. I feel like if we have a little more control over who we're putting together, I think the class. I think they're gonna go. It's gonna go better.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, Trev, on that?
Yeah, man. I think that's a good call. I think and if I don't know them, I don't know them, but like for the most part, if they're involved and I know I've seen them on comments and I know they're doing okay and they're in coaching comments and all that kind of stuff, then I'm like, yeah, they're probably a level 2er. But if I don't really know who they are, if I know they're a member, obviously, but I don't really know who they are and I haven't really seen that much from them, they'll probably be a level 1 because that means they're probably not using the membership very well. They're probably not in there as much. And so that's really what we want to use these sessions for, is to get them motivated and get them a plan, in-person plan to what to do next. Because then, number one, they're accountable to another person and not just themselves. And they're also accountable to a group and not just themselves. Because it's really easy to let yourself down. But if somebody's waiting for you or somebody's expecting you or somebody is, you're part of their plan, then a lot of times that just gets people like innately like, okay, I gotta do this. I can't disappoint Misty. I can't disappoint Ken. Like, they're going to be there. And furthermore, the fact that if they don't send in questions, they don't get anything answered. Like, we have to make that clear too. If they don't send in questions, unless they ask real time, we're not going to deal with their case specifically. Like, they may ask questions in the mix, but they're not going to be analyzed and they're not going to be all that. So, I mean, we can kind of force their hand a little bit to stay on target, that unless they submit some questions, we will not analyze them via video. Those are saved for the people that actually submit. And so they have to be compliant, which means overall they're just going to end up getting results anyway. So the goal would be to take the level 1 people and then advance them to level 2. So immediately in that second round of 6 weeks, Holly's going to have probably double the amount of sessions, because you're going to take level 1, you're going to already add 2 level 2s, and then the level 2ers are going to love it so much because they're rocking it, they're probably going to want to continue. So whether we have 4 classes at the beginning, or we have maybe we do 2 level 1s and a level 2 to start off, and we make 6 classes to start off with if we have a gigantic need. I don't know.
Well, and I think too that opens up the point, as I was thinking through this, and especially thinking when Ken brought it to my attention, this is literally how we were running our business before, and reminded me of that. There's no reason why we can't get 2 weeks into this and be like, this is going so well, let's launch another 2 classes. Being that it's going to be
easier to add, than to do too much at first. It's always easier to add because things are going well than to overwhelm ourselves early on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is good. I think that this is going to work out really well. My mom probably because she is so new, it's probably overwhelming to hear again more changes, like than what she expected. So her head's probably spinning, rightfully so.
You're her daughter, Misty. You never stay still for more than 5 minutes. So.
Well, yeah, I know. And so you wonder why my mom's hair is gray and my dad's hair was gray 15 years ago.
Look, my hair's getting gray too. Look at that.
I can't account for all that. But I think that my mom is going to love it. And I think that Holly's probably going to love the groups too, because I really do think that it's so simple. It just makes sense, and
yeah, this is a great thing. It's such a good lead in. Think about every time you and I have built a practice, we started with these little tiny groups. Like Regal was kicked off by Salon Nevea and the Center for whatever it was, Department of the Interior. Mm-hmm. That was our basis. Mojo or New Body was started off by those low back classes. And then the MS Gym, I've gone to 2 or 3 support groups.
Well,
and
also, Trev, what better way, honestly, if for Holly to make that full-time transition that we've talked about at some point, what better way than to do the groups? Because the level of intimacy and trust that they'll have to then want to do a one-on-one with Holly, that is the best way. That's even stronger than doing videos, going into the group and commenting. Those are high value also. She should still do that stuff. But actually doing the groups, there's going to be a certain percentage of people that want to work with her privately.
Totally.
And it gives Holly it puts her in that
confidence.
Position of strength. I mean, she's so good with people she's a natural life coach, she just has that natural ability to empathize and encourage, but she's also highly educated and, she's definitely the expert that we want tackling this. I think she's going to love it.
Well, it's also cool. Like I could see, because this takes the pressure off you, Trevor. Like if you actually have a free half an hour, you could pop in just one,
I know. That's way fun.
Right. For them, it's going to be like the celebrity just walked in the room.
Yeah, I know.
Holy cow. Look who joined us today.
That?
Coach Trevor. And it just adds more value to it, but there's no pressure on you to make it part of your schedule. It's just, all right, got an extra 20 minutes, I'm going to hop in there.
Yeah. And you can do it from anywhere. And I think Holly's going to love that aspect of it. And, so I think this is going to evolve in the right way, and definitely not in a reactive way, but in a planned way, which is what I wanted. And it's also why, Trev, I won't let you make promises to be seeing local clients once a month, because that's not going to happen. It's just realistically, it's not going to happen. There's going to come a point to where Beth and Mary are going to have to just trust Holly or move on, and it'll get there. We'll do our best to accommodate them as needed, and and however you want to address that. But I don't want to make promises, because that's where we get in trouble, because we make a promise that we fully intend to keep that we end up not being able to keep, and that's when people get upset.
I agree.
So we have 5 minutes to wrap this up. Is there anything else that we need? My mom's left and Holly's left, but we can keep it on the recording if there's anything else you need to talk about.
No, I really love, I don't know how much detail Trevor gave you at our calls point. I love the positioning of what we're going to do as far as like how we're going to announce it to the group, and literally declaring, okay, I'm going to open up in January 2019, because the truth is you got to get into a flow. You're going to have a new baby. That's a realistic time frame. I mean, if it gets pushed to February, but realistically, if the business keeps growing along, which is going to where we need it, Trevor will be able to do diagnostics. That will be realistic that we can offer that to people.
And we'll know the price point we want to offer at that point too.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a 2+1 package. I think it shifts the game. I think we just offer, they can just do a one-off with Trevor and sign up for one at a time with Trevor. And yes, if they still want to then do some with Holly at a cheaper price point after the that's fine, but they could sign up for just a one solo with Trevor, and we make it a higher price point. I think.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Ken, Miss, that with the Z Help stuff, I'm going to be so much more fine-tuned on the assessments and they're going to be so much more like precise and complete. Like, I think I'll be excited to do them by next year because I'll have this whole new assessment proceeding. I can do it online. I can watch them assess themselves, and I'll probably test it on you guys. I'll also test it on the moderators, and then I'll practice, like, right? So I'm not gonna have a bunch of people to practice on, but I am gonna have you guys to practice on to get really good at doing online assessing and online, diagnostics as far as we go down, and that's gonna add more value. And so I think it's a good idea because it kind of takes me out of the game, allows me to quote unquote perfect my craft, and then go back in the game when our systems are dialed and when I have less to do from the back end of things. And boom, like eventually we'll have people that write my PDFs and create them for me instead of it looming on my computer over here right now. So it'll be good.
Right.
It may even get some more people into the summit because there were people sitting on the fence, as in like because they were waiting. It was an either or to them. It was like, I'm either going to go to summit or I'm going to do the virtuals with Trevor. Because we had been talking about it for a while. There were people waiting for this. So I think the fact that we announced, you're booked out till January 2019, there are some people that might push to come to the summit as well.
Yeah.
Good thought. Good thought.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, this is exciting, guys.
Well, all right,
Good.
Cool. I think that's all I got. So.
All right. So when do you want to do it, Trev? We can talk about it more in the morning.
Yeah, we can talk about it in the morning. I mean, we can either do it. We could do it Thursday or we could do it Friday. And then we could open it. We could either open it Friday or we could open it next week, depending on Misty, if you're ready. Because you're gonna have to help your mom, but you know what you're doing. So you just have to go in this weekend or this week and create the membership, create the classes, and then create the schedule, and you can coordinate with Holly, get it set up, and then we just fill the spots. So
well, yeah, and then I just need your login and password for Zoom because then I could create the auto responders.
And sorry about the confusion on there. I sent out an email with my Zoom thing on it, but I don't think everyone got it. So
yeah, that's cool. All right, well, this is closing out, so. Okay. I'll do all the Zen Planner setup on my end based on what we talked about. If anything changes, let me know. And otherwise, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to create the membership. I'll go ahead and set classes. Do you have an idea, Trev, on how early in the morning you want me to set these classes, or do you want to do like a mid-morning, like 9, 10 a.m.?
Yeah, I would say like you can either do like a 9:30, 10, or like a 9:30 or a 10. You may want to do 10 to start because Holly has to help me film still. Okay. So we can film from 8 to 10. She can do virtual from 10 to 11. And then in the afternoon, maybe like a 2 or a 4. Like a 4 might be good because then that breaks up her day so she's not waiting around between John and April.
No, but don't do the start date for next week. Push it back. No. We need a full week to get this.
Yeah. No, I won't do that.
Yeah. So do that. Okay. All right. I think it's about to close out.
Okay, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.